Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're taking a molecule you've absolutely heard of, but if we're being honest, probably completely misunderstood, and we're going to totally rebrand it. We're talking about creatine. Because look, when you hear the word creatine, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? It's probably, I don't know, a massive plastic tub of powder sitting on top of a gym locker, right? So we really have to ask, is creatine just for bodybuilders? Is it exclusively for the classic gym bro trying to add an inch to their biceps? Well, today we're going to explore exactly why that stereotype is just a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole story. To go ahead and just shatter that stereotype right out of the gate, consider this. There are over 500 peer-reviewed studies backing the efficacy and safety of this molecule. 500. That massive volume of clinical data actually makes it the single most researched dietary supplement in existence. Literally. And what this absolute mountain of research proves is that creatine does far, far more than just build muscle. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. 1. More than just muscle. 2. Fueling the human brain. 3. The vegetarian cognitive advantage. 4. Managing glucose and diabetes. 5. Aging and longevity. And finally, number 6, how to supplement safely. All right, section 1, more than just muscle. To understand why creatine is so incredibly powerful across your entire body, and not just in the gym, we first have to establish the fundamental biology of how our bodies actually generate energy. Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is the fundamental energy currency of the cell. You can think of it kind of like the cellular battery of your body. Every single time a muscle contracts, or say a neuron fires in your head, it drains this battery, breaking the ATP down into a depleted form called ADP. And this is exactly where our star molecule steps in. The creatine phosphocreatine system is one of your body's primary mechanisms for recharging that battery. It swoops in, donates a phosphate group, and rapidly regenerates that depleted ADP right back into fully charged ATP. Moving on to section 2, fueling the human brain. So your muscles aren't the only things running on that cellular battery. Consider this really incredible biological fact. Your brain makes up only about 2% of your total body mass, right? Yet it burns through a staggering 20% of your body's total energy, and it runs on the exact same ATP fuel as your muscles do. However, only about 5% of the body's creatine is actually stored in the brain. Why is that? Well, because the blood-brain barrier severely limits how much of it can get through from your bloodstream. Because of this physiological hurdle, you're not going to feel a sudden cognitive boost from a single dose like you might feel a pump in the weight room. Consistent daily supplementation, taken over weeks, is required to gradually increase those brain creatine concentrations. But when you do finally increase those concentrations, wow, the clinical data is nothing short of remarkable. Systematic reviews show it improves short-term memory and reasoning. Actually, a really fascinating 2024 study published in Nature's Scientific Reports even showed it protects brain function under severe stress. It literally maintained cognitive performance during sleep deprivation for up to 9 hours. And perhaps most promising of the whole bunch, pilot studies at the University of Kansas Medical Center showed it increased brain creatine levels by 11% in Alzheimer's patients, bringing moderate improvements in working memory and executive function. Section 3, the vegetarian cognitive advantage. Now let's look at a super fascinating aspect of this research out of Cambridge University. The crucial point here is how your baseline diet affects your brain's response to this molecule. See, creatine is naturally found in animal products, specifically meat and fish. So the Cambridge researchers looked at cognitive functioning and compared vegetarians with omnivores. Because vegetarians basically lack dietary baseline creatine, when they were given a supplement, the researchers observed a really massive boost in their memory and cognitive test performance. Omnivores, on the other hand, who already consume a baseline amount through meat, well, they didn't see quite the same dramatic cognitive leap. This brilliantly illustrates that if your brain is starved of this energy buffer due to your diet, supplementing it can unlock a serious, totally measurable cognitive advantage. Section 4, managing glucose and diabetes. Let's shift gears to a crucial metabolic frontier to see how this impacts blood sugar and conditions like type 2 diabetes. We're going to walk through this cellular pathway step by step so we truly understand the mechanics. Okay, so over on the left, we see creatine entering the muscle cell. When it does this, it actually promotes intracellular water retention, slightly changing the cell's osmolarity. Basically, it causes the cell to swell. Now, this swelling is actually a highly potent metabolic trigger. It signals osmosensing genes and activates an energy-sensing protein called AMPK. Following the arrows over to the right, this signaling cascade effectively pushes GLUT4 transporters from inside the cell all the way to the surface of the cell membrane. Think of GLUT4 as the doors to the cell. Creatine effectively helps unlock and open these doors, allowing glucose from your bloodstream to be rapidly taken up into the cell, thereby lowering your overall blood sugar levels. And this exact cellular mechanism leads to an amazing synergy with physical activity. I want you to consider these dramatic numbers from a study involving leg immobilization. When a healthy person's leg was immobilized, those GLUT4 doors dropped by 20%. Exercise rehabilitation alone simply restored the cell back to its baseline. But, and this is the absolute kicker, exercise combined with creatine supplementation increased GLUT4 expression by an incredible 40%. So while exercise is definitely great for glucose uptake on its own, adding creatine completely supercharges your muscle's ability to clear glucose from the blood. Section 5. Aging and Longevity. Expanding our lens here to a topic that's probably on everyone's mind, creatine may be the most practical and affordable longevity supplement available at roughly 3 cents per day. Right now, the health space is completely obsessed with expensive, super trendy longevity supplements, things like NAD+ boosters that can honestly cost a fortune. But creatine acts as a proven shield against sarcopenia, which is age-related muscle loss. It preserves functional muscle, and when combined with resistance training, it's actually been shown to improve bone density. For anyone over 40, these are not abstract concepts. They are quite literally the difference between independence and frailty. And all of this foundational aging protection costs literally 3 cents a day. 3 cents. Which brings us to Section 6, how to supplement safely. So how do we actually use it? Let's strip away all the supplement industry hype right now and deliver clear, actionable protocols for everyday people. The rules are incredibly simple. Step 1, choose creatine monohydrate. It remains the absolute gold standard in the scientific literature. Please do not waste your money on fancier, way more expensive versions like HCl or ethyl ester. They just haven't proven to be superior. Step 2, take 3 to 5 grams daily. Step 3, be consistent. The timing of the day really does not matter. Oh, and I want to explicitly bust a major myth right here, especially regarding searches for creatine for women, which have absolutely spiked recently. There's this old concern about bloating. Listen, creatine causes mild intracellular water retention, meaning it pulls water into your muscle cells, not under your skin. This is temporary, it's just beneficial cellular hydration, and it absolutely does not cause fat gain or that traditional bloating people fear. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. If a single, extensively studied molecule can fuel your brain under severe stress, help manage your blood sugar by essentially throwing open the doors of your cells, and shield your body from age-related decline for just 3 pennies a day, why isn't it already in your daily routine? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this paradigm shift empowers your health journey. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.